Hey, this is Ryan Geddes here with Peter Eichmans.
Hey guys.
We're here to take apart the new Gears of War 3 campaign trailer that just came out. Lots to take a look at here. So let's stop it here and rewind this back to the beginning.
It starts early. There's a lot going on here. So.
Yeah, the first thing we see here is a Raven helicopter coming over the ocean, and what we see here is a lambent, looks like a lambent stalk, right, Peter?
Yeah, delivering all kinds of bad guys upon the world. And if you notice, as the helicopter's landing, you see 1, 2, and then it goes into even more in the background, which goes to show that there will be problems.
Yeah, and what we're seeing here is Delta on a floating platform, and this is, we'll see a little bit more in detail later, but this is a former helicopter landing ship kind of on the ocean that's become a refuge for humans. And the group here is listening to a message from Adam Phoenix, Marcus Phoenix's dad. So who we see here in the shot from the left, Anya Stroud, who's been in all the games. She's now a Gear. She's on the battlefield with the rest of the team. To her right is Jay Stratton, a new figure in the games, but he's been in the fiction for a while now. Marcus Phoenix, and of course Dom on the right, who's gone all Al Gore with the beard.
It's hard to find them to shave when you're saving the world.
True. So we hear this message from Adam Phoenix, as we remember from the end of Gears of War 2, as they kind of left in their helicopters after defeating, after finishing off what they were trying to do there. They heard his voice. Well, they didn't hear his voice, but we could hear his voice over the action, sort of saying, "What have you done?" Speaking about like the dire consequences of their actions. All right, so let's move on a little bit from here. We can anticipate that Delta survives this initial attack, and things get hairy. And if you listen to actually the music in the background here, you might notice is a song called War Pigs from Black Sabbath, famous metal song, Ozzy's band, and it's really a protest song. It's an anti-war song, and that's kind of, who knows, maybe an important message.
And now we were looking at this one. What appears like what we've seen in an earlier trailer is now taking place at night. Yeah,
there's a lot of speculation about this one. We're not sure kind of what's going on here and where this is. It could be outside Anvil Gate, the fortress. We're just really not sure. It's kind of a cool way of showing off the lighting. And we'll kind of notice this throughout the trailer, but really high focus on Marcus's tattoo there. We don't know really exactly what it is, but almost all the characters you can really see. We'll see another one on Anya later on.
And it looks like, I don't know if this is pulled from a cutscene or from being knocked over by a corpser, but while they were kind of sitting in the background of Gears 2 and it was a big boss fight in Gears 1, it's looking like if they manage to squeeze it into a minute-long trailer, that it's probably going to have another big impact on this.
We've talked about this, Peter, but corpsers scare me. They give me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not gonna lie.
They're like super spiders.
I do not like them. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, let's take a look at Chairman Prescott here. Now, Chairman Prescott, leader of the COG forces, got his badass like bodyguards here. And what's interesting is Prescott in the fiction kind of disappears at the end after Gears 2, after Jacinto falls. The COG kind of falls apart, and it's chaos. So it looks like he's back here. We don't know why. Maybe he's gonna, put things back together again. And as you see, if you can stop it right here, up in the far right corner, you see where it says CMV Sovereign. That's the big helicopter landing ship that they're on that we see at the very beginning.
And I think just looking at what he's wearing, actually, in the other games, we've seen him in much more official garb.
Wearing like medals with like dress uniform,
stately uniform. But here it looks like he might actually be ready to go.
He's going to get his hands dirty. No idea what this means, but this is the part when Prescott walks out. We hear the part of the song, the line "No more war pigs have the power." That's the line that is matched up with Prescott coming off the Raven. So who knows what that means? Here we got a Leviathan attack or a lambent creature attack. And we see the stranded or whoever these civilians are just kind of running in terror. Probably going to die. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. They're probably dead meat.
I would also run in terror.
If that didn't get them, then these little scampering, evil-looking lambent spider things. God, why spiders?
Yeah, a mix of like a mini corpser slash almost like a head crab.
Oh yeah, that sounds really great. Thanks, Peter, for
just
that.
A mix.
I'll sleep very well tonight. Thank you. Ugh. So, oh my God, this is the lambent Leviathan. You were making some statements about this.
Yeah, we were talking about how the Gears of War 2 had a Leviathan, but it was maybe much smaller. I don't know. I don't want to pick a fraction of the size, but
well,
this
I was
lambent
comparing it
one
like before, like trout versus whale. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, we know how to beat this thing just by tossing a couple grenades in its mouth.
Oh, that's all.
I think that's all you need to do.
Just a couple.
Actually, speaking of how to defeat this thing, if you look in the foreground here, you see these two gears in these really cool little mini mechs. Kind of remind me of those, you know, the construction mechs from Aliens.
Yeah.
And it looks like they have like a little shield in front and a minigun, doing some serious damage on this
Now,
thing.
I gotta say, too, this Leviathan, it's got a crazy eye. Can you see
It
that
does have
thing?
a little
Like,
bit of a crazy eye.
It's giving the glare.
And kind of a like gross nostril up there above the first fang set.
A little bit twisted, but you can just see the detail there is crazy.
Yeah, this thing looks
down
really,
to like the
really
ridges in its mouth.
disgusting.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And disgusting.
All right, so jumping quickly to this next scene, really interesting scene here. Not sure exactly what's going on here. Right down the lower left, you see a figure kind of bending over something. Looks like it's wearing a helmet or a hood. We don't know who this is. Looks like it could be a female figure, maybe a stranded, maybe a child. We talked about we haven't seen Bernie, who's a female figure from the comics and novel series. Doesn't really look like her from the comics, but who knows?
There's just no way to tell.
No way to tell. Yeah, so Marcus you were kind of saying he looks like he's being accusatory here.
Yeah, at first I was thinking, oh, he's trying to help someone up. Maybe it's his dad or something. But here it looks more like he's about to say something. Like he's pointing his fingers out in more of either an aggressive or, and I mean with the sneer on his face too.
I thought too maybe he might be reaching to pull the hood or the helmet off of whoever was kneeled down there.
Yeah, which could
also
very
notice
likely be.
Marcus is not going to go thirsty. That is a serious canteen. Like he's got all the like hydration that he probably needs for the long trips into the battlefield. Also wanted to take a look on the left-hand corner. Let's take a look at Anya because she's actually not looking so hot to me.
It's tough to say. Yeah, I mean, we were debating, and then we saw some other comments online. People were saying we can't quite tell. Is it a shadow going over her face? Is it some kind of terrible burn? Is it a bruise?
If you look below her right eye, there's kind of looks like some scratch marks. I mean, it could just be the lighting, but it could just be a bad hair day. I mean, we've all had them. You know, who knows? Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, she's looking a little worse for wear there. And then up on the right-hand side, kind of you can see Dom standing there. Standing next to Dom is Samantha Byrne. She's another character from the Gears fiction. Really cool character who was there with Delta at Anvil Gate and some other adventures. So we'll see a lot of her in Gears 3 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here it's short, but it's sweet. The new underwater cog vehicles.
Hot submarine action.
Taking the battle below the seas, below the surface.
And we can see if we stop it right here, we can see this vehicle on the right-hand side. There's a cog symbol there, so we know it's a cog vehicle of some sort.
I don't really see much of the glowing yellow, so I'm not sure that this is the same lambent beast.
And I don't see the crazy eye that we were talking about earlier. So
Very noticeable with the crazy eye.
It could just be some other horrific locust beastie that you have to fight underwater here. So here's a closer look at what you were talking about before, Peter.
It's like I guess Gears of War 3's version of the Here's Johnny from The Shining with a berserker. In case you didn't notice him that first time around, it's very clear what's going on here.
And I think, weren't berserkers female from didn't they talk about that in Gears?
I think so. And they were also blind and just operated by sound. But we were talking here, going back to the whole crazy eye aspect, another crazy eye here on this berserker, which may indicate that maybe they can see you.
Yeah, they can kind of see you a little bit now, which is never a good thing. More appendages too than before, right? The lambency, if I can make that word up, has made this berserker kind of have more crazy tentacles. And we're noticing too this pod here. It looks like another. What were you calling them? Stalks.
The lambent stalks.
Like the pod kind of bursts open and a berserker comes out, which is like the worst possible thing that you can have happen to you, I think. So it looks like you'll be encountering these things that are going to burst out and locust beasties.
Yeah, it seems like they might be delivering enemies at any given point. You just are never going to know when it happens.
Okay, so actually this is a cool moment here. So if you played any of the Gears 3 multiplayer beta, you recognize this as Augustus Cole's home field, thrashball field. And if you notice the score post there on the left, you can see the bomb planted there, and that thing is about to go off.
And you tried to start an amateur thrashball league, right?
Yeah, I did. Nobody showed up.
It was a nice effort, though. So yeah, we were talking too here. This obviously isn't multiplayer anymore because of the huge locust wraps around the building. So we're trying to figure out why he's in full uniform here.
Yeah, the idea was maybe that he kind of knew this was a suicide mission, and he was like, hey, if I'm going out anyway, I might as well put on the uniform and go out in style. So we hope he survives this, but that is a pretty serious looking explosion. Ouch. All right, moving right on to like a mini on-rails sequence here. Again, like with the co-op thing. We don't know, maybe, one person's got the minigun. You can see Anya on the left here. She's kind of operating some sort of throttle device. So yeah, one person maybe maintaining speed, the other shooting.
Yeah, because we know from different interviews and looked at the game before that the whole campaign supports 4-player multiplayer. So here we see 2 people busy, but we're kind of wondering what the other 2 people are going to be doing.
So we don't know who this is exactly, ziplining into frame with the bolt-action pistol locked and loaded. Scary looking scene.
We're looking at him too. If you look closely, the armor is greenish, whereas the main cast generally has the more bluish tinge. So we're wondering if this is a whole other sect of the story with another group of characters, or what exactly is going on here?
It's really weird. But if you look in the back behind this character, if you kind of move it right there, you can see in the back there is somebody with looks like maybe more of a bluish armor, but it's hard to say because the lights on the shoulders are blue no matter what armor.
And then someone stepping out on the left just a few frames ahead of here that also has the kind of greenish look to what they're wearing.
So anyway, not sure what's happening here, but a cool scene nonetheless. And as this character swings by on the zipline, you see this kind of neat cityscape in the background. Looks like a church there. So yeah, I'm not sure where this is located. Brumac.
Brumacs are back. In a big way, it looks like. Now, jumping back here, this is a really interesting look at a new way that it looks like enemies are going to be delivered at you. And we're also talking, this looks like an actual shot that might be gameplay. Because first you're looking at, we have these enemies just exploding out of the ground where they used to just kind of crawl up out of the side of emergence holes. But here these guys have some kind of special delivery, if not kind of jetpack launch out of the ground that is sure to terrify you if the corpse or tiny crabs are not also going to keep you up at night.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of when you see the elite jetpack elites in Halo. They come in and you're like, oh god, this is not good. This just looks like a really shocking way to be like walking through an area and have these guys come out. And you notice too, if you zoom back or rewind back a little bit till they're coming out, stop right there, you'll see that they have pendulum era lancers, the retro lancers. Don't know what that means, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, and if you look too, the cog standing in the center, he's flinching from the explosion, which is the same effect you get from like a smoke grenade or another explosion, which means that not only are you going to be terrified playing the game, your character will actually be incapacitated for a few seconds once these guys jump out.
So that is an up-close look at the latest Gears of War 3 campaign trailer. We're going to see a lot more from Epic and Microsoft about Gears of War 3 at E3, so make sure to check out IGN.com for all the details.